This is CJ at the Minnesota Orchestra, where Dessa, the infinitely talented rapper, singer, poet, is rehearsing for her second collaboration and third appearance with the symphony. I chatted with Dessa, who divides her time between Minneapolis and Manhattan, about her engrossing memoir, My Own Devices, True Stories from the Road on Music, Science, and Senseless Love. My first question was about what amounts to the Minnesota Orchestra, keeping it creative. When you started out, did you ever imagine there'd be a day that you'd be performing with the Minnesota Orchestra?
No. No, I did not. Like this, that when the email first came from the orchestra, from Grant, one of their artistic directors there, I thought it was maybe spam because it was such a flattering request. You know, it's one of those emails that you're like, is this real? Yeah. It was just so exciting to be asked to collaborate. Yeah. I like your book holder.
I wanted to protect it.
I know. So sweet.
Apparently, Barnes & Noble cannot keep this around. The one in Minnetonka.
Thank you, Minnetonka Barnes & Noble.
Isn't that great?
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
You don't really need a PR person because you kind of tell everything. There's nothing you're hiding.
I have to say, this was a frank account, the book stuff. You know, I mean, even in the songs, like, usually they're pretty, like, open emotionally, but it was different to write a book.
How is promoting your book different from promoting your music?
You know, after you make something big, you know, like an album or a book, then it's like you got to figure out how to share the news of that and share an honest enthusiasm for it. It's like you made it because you thought it was important, or you wouldn't have done so, right? But you have to do it without sounding like a broken record of a promotional machine, which I take really seriously because I think for Twitter, let's say, I don't like following people who only say, buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing. Like, I think that's obnoxious. Mm-hmm. So for me, anyway, I put in a lot of time and effort to say, if I am going to ask people to check out the book, let's say, to try to do so in a way that feels mindful of their time, that's either beautiful or funny or poignant. So if that means, I don't know, hiring an actress to do like a little dramatic reading from it, okay, well then it feels like that's a little piece of art. It's not just an ask to buy. It's not just marketing. It feels like you make a tiny little art campaign. And I think in that way, to me, like sometimes the marketing and the art itself can feel really connected, even blurred.
I learned so much about the music business, your wordsmith and your turn of phrase, and I learned a word. What was the word? It was like varieties, but it wasn't varieties. What was the word?
There's a couple of...
Verity. It looks like variety. Varietals. I loved it. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, she sent me to the dictionary.
Cool.
Now, you are a credible professional in so many disciplines. Singer, rapper, poet, spoken word artist, writer, former CEO of Doomtree. What aren't you good at, I want to know?
Oh man, I feel like I've been on the road for a lot for the past year. My cooking, I've never met anybody who used to be a good cook and now sucks. I think that's me though. I've been so disappointed to find out how completely rusty I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did being a record company executive make the transition to artist easier or tougher?
I mean, you know, so Doomtree essentially is like artist owned and operated. So all of us just learned the business skills that were necessary to keep the thing afloat. So we kind of learned on the job, you know? But yeah, I think having those business skills, for me, makes the art part viable. Not just easier, but viable. You can figure out how to keep the machine running, you know, figure out how to market yourself a little bit, and also just figure out like how to look after your bottom line. Yeah.
How does your middle America upbringing influence your work?
Oh, that's interesting. I think that growing up in South Minneapolis was a great place to get a public education. I got a really great Montessori education in elementary school. I felt super well prepared for college, and that's not true in every state. You know what I mean? So that I would say was important.
Weren't you going to do well any place you were? Because I think you're brilliant. I was reading this book and I was deciding my questions aren't smart enough. I was not kidding you.
You shut up, C-check.
That's the truth.
But also I think here, you know, well, okay, when I last saw you, we were passing in the hallway and you said, hey, I want to grab it. Like there's a work ethic that's legit. That's kind of it doesn't celebrate itself. It's like put your nose to the grindstone and put your time in. And I think that definitely informed the way that I looked at the business of developing my craft. Yeah.
When Lin-Manuel calls to ask you to be an artist on his Hamilton mixtape, I have to assume there's nobody in the music business you have trouble contacting.
Oh gosh, overstatement. Really? Yes. I mean, he called me, and of course, like, that's an amazing call to receive. I mean, you jump. It's exciting, you know? But yeah, I mean, I think I've got a lot of headroom. I got a lot of room to grow. Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, did Lin-Manuel know that you all both had Puerto Rican roots before he asked you?
100% yes. He did, yeah. And of course, like, the Puerto Rican side of my family was like,
oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite Hamilton soundtrack cut?
oh, I love the song Burn. I think it's so beautiful, the OG version, the cast recording. And I also like Leslie Odom's voice. He's the guy who plays Burn in the original recording. Is like an instrument that is second to none to me. Whatever machinery that man has in his throat is incredible. It's so.
He says he taught himself to sing.
I think most of us did. No.
Okay.
Do you sing?
Not well.
But a little.
I sing a little bit.
Where'd you learn?
But I'm not singing on stage. Any part of the day you're more creative than others?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think like the time when I'm supposed to go to bed, if I listen to music within 2 hours of going to bed, I know I'll be up for a long time because it loops. You know what I mean? So that if being asleep by 2 a.m. is important, there can be no music after midnight. Yeah. So for me, I'm probably a night owl. Uh-huh.
Dessa is Greek for your surname.
Hey, what's up, research? Yeah, it is.